So a week ago, I was at Creation Festival, Creation 2013, otherwise known as the wettest place on earth, because it was basically soaking wet the whole time. And during one of the speakers, they actually had what they normally do, which is the speaker ended up, he said, hey, if anybody wants to come forward and receive Christ and whatnot. And I mean, if you've been in the Christian church, you know the drill. But for some reason that night, me and a few of my friends decided we were just going to talk about stuff. And while he was doing that normal speech that we had heard for the first 3 nights, we were talking about, like, why aren't Christians more honest about, like, what's going on in their life? Like, why are they not just more forthcoming? Like, more just like, hey, here's what's going on in my life. Like, here's what makes me tick. Here are my joys. Here are my fears. Here are my hopes. Like, here's what's been happening with me. And people just don't do that. I mean, overall, like, it's not just the Christian church, but it's people overall. And for whatever reason, I don't know. I guess it's because we're too afraid that people will reject us. But we kind of said, like, let's get over that. Let's do something about that. So tonight, I guess that's what I'm doing. It's obviously nerve-wracking, but I just want to share with you, and apparently, I guess you, meaning anybody who watches this video. There could be random strangers, I suppose, on YouTube, but it's mostly for the people through my Facebook and through my friends who are going to be watching this. But I just want to talk to you guys about my life. And actually, I got a message today. I got a poem from my good friend, one of my best friends, Angela. And it's amazing, and it actually sets up the tone of this whole thing. So I wanted to read this because I love it. So this is what it says. It says, "This world wishes for clarity and understanding, and yet we are afraid to ask questions in which we end up banning the truth that so many of us need to hear. And yet when it comes down to it, we are all in fear. We no longer hear his voice and try to follow. We just sit in our rooms and cry with sorrow. Because we know there are hundreds out there ready to receive the truth. But we're afraid to get up and scream about our rebirth. Instead, we go to church and we raise our hands to nothing but a feeling. Because we ourselves never really got the healing. We think we know the Lord until it comes to action, and then we're more concerned with our appearance and our fashion. Life was not meant for loneliness and sorrow, but for the community together so that we are filled from this hollow. So why then do we feel that it's okay to see the face of God and then turn away? Because we're only human and all we do is stray. We don't want the effort or the toll that comes this way, but to burn in hell would be a tragic day. So instead, we just wait in the gray. And as John Foreman said, opinions are easier to swallow than facts, the grays instead of the whites and the blacks. Yet we don't listen to the conscience that we know to be true, because pleasure and worldly love are obviously the better hue. I don't quite understand, but I'm the only one, and yet I will stand for what is right and not what's wrong. Because the minute I give in, I'll be singing another sad song. So let's get up and make a difference. Ask questions, make a resistance. Because to have your heart in something doesn't mean once a week. It means every day until you can no longer seek, because you have found the face of the Father, until you have drank from the well and there is no bother. So stop looking at the person right in front of you for the answer. It starts with you, and there is no magical enhancer. There is only the love of the Father for those who follow him. So throw away your distractions. You're no longer a game on the Sims. You're a real-life person to stand up and take the stand and glorify the one who sits at the right hand." It was an amazing poem for my friend Angela, and she shared that with me today, and I was like, that's awesome. I'm going to use it on this YouTube video I've been thinking of tonight. And that's the easy part for me, to read someone else's poetry. The other part, honestly, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about what's been going on in my life. And some of you guys who are watching this video, you might be like, oh, what's this? Like, click on it, like, oh, he's talking about his life? What is this? And you click on it and you're like, I haven't talked to this guy in a while, in like a year. And you're going to be like, what? Like, you're not going to know this stuff happened in my life. Some of you are going to be like, yeah, I know that. Some of you more than others. Some of you may know everything I'm about to say. But I just want to be honest, and I just want to be open, and I just want to say, hey, here is my life, here is my fears, here is my hopes, here's where I've been. And hopefully you can get something from this. Hopefully you can all take something from this, and I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But for those of you who don't know, about 6 months ago, my wife and I were separated. Not of my choosing. It's a long story, and I'm not going to go into all the details. I want to tell my story today. I want to talk about my story, but I don't want to point out faces and stories of other people. So, I'm not going to go into the details of that because it involves my wife. I'm not going to go into the details of other people that are in other parts of my story because it involves them. I just want to tell my story and keep it simple. So, for reasons unsaid right now, there was a separation about 6 months ago. I tried many things in my power to fix that, to work through some things, and it unfortunately just didn't work out. So I'm legally married right now, but probably not for too much longer. And you may notice, like, why isn't he like all broken up about this? Like, why isn't he like sobbing right now? Like, this is a huge thing. Because it's been a 6-month process, and because it's been something that has been, I mean, if you think 6 months, like, oh, months, that's not that long, but it's been half a year. Like, it's been a little bit after Christmas. So, I mean, if you guys think back to Christmas right now, that if you're like me, that seems like a really long time ago. So, it's been a while. It's been a really long while, and I've had time to go through all these emotions, and I feel like I have no regrets whatsoever in the things that I've done and the person that I've been through all of this, and the way that I've tried to show love. And so, I have no regrets. So that's why I'm not sitting here before you a mess right now. There was a time where I would cry. There was a time when I would be broken. But right now, I'm just telling my story, and I've been able to tell people this story without doing that. But for 6 months, man, like you're sitting there for 6 months and you're wondering, like, is anything going to change? Like, I'm not that old. I'm 27. Like, I realize that's not that old at all. I just turned 27. So I realize that's not that old at all, but not the only thing, but one of the main things that kept going through my mind, like, the whole time, like, through this whole thing is like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to do with myself? Like, again, I'm not that old, but am I ever going to find anyone again? Like, am I ever going to recover from this? Like, am I ever going to be able to find love, find hope, find peace? Or am I always just going to be alone and feeling sorrow and all of these things, like this depression? And this just like rested with me for a very long time, until about a month ago. And I met this girl, and I know some of you out there are like, oh boy, where's this going? No, it's nothing like that. I met this girl, and it was just completely out of the blue. I wasn't looking for someone. I wasn't going on dating sites. Wasn't doing anything like that. Nothing crazy. But just happened that we just had a great friendship. And you know what? As a great man Neve once said from a documentary called Catfish, it was, how did he say this? He said, it was a great correspondence. It was an amazing correspondence. That's the way he said it. Neve said it was an amazing correspondence. And you know what? I'll leave it at that. It was an amazing correspondence. This was a wonderful person. I don't want to say was, like this person, like she died. She is a wonderful person. She's an amazing person. And just kind of clicked, and in that moment of being down here and being like, okay, nothing's ever gonna work, all of a sudden meeting this person and being like, this is amazing, like, this is awesome. And I was like way up here. And actually, Relient K, I don't know if any of you guys have listened to Relient K's new CD yet. It just came out today, but they released some singles. And so like a month or two ago, like when this first happened with this girl, I was like, this song came out and it's called Don't Blink. And one of the lyrics in it is life is beautiful and new. And I was just like, this wraps up my life right now. Like, life is beautiful and new. Like, there's a whole new life, like, bursting forth right here. And so I did everything. Like, I even I loved that line so much that I actually like screenshotted it and like put it as my cover photo. I'm like, yeah, this is like my life. So I'm putting it as my cover photo because this is just like the phrase for my life right now. And I also really like I love the band Rocket Summer, so there was a line from the Rocket Summer that said, that says, so much feeling, oh my soul is singing. And for that month, it's just like, my soul is just like singing. It's like something within me, it's just like, yes, this is awesome. Like, this is amazing. So, as they also say, there's a lot of phrases that people throw around, but as they say, nothing lasts forever. All good things must come to an end. And so recently, that did. And through a bunch of other events that I'm not going to go into right now, an amazing correspondence ended. And oddly, not oddly, for the first couple days, I was back down here. I was back down in this depression, in this place where I was just like, because when you're way up here and you're excited about something and everything's going good and you're just like, yes, this is awesome. And then suddenly it's just like, you kind of see yourself at the top of that hill going down and you're just like, oh no, don't go down there. Like, let's just stay up here for a little bit. And then you start to go down the hill and you just have this feeling like, oh, this isn't going anywhere fast. Like, this is going to crash and burn. And it just starts to go down the hill, and all of a sudden it's over, which is exactly what happened. And so I could see it coming, and I was like, no, until I was just like, back down into that point of despair and depression and those similar feelings that I felt for 6 months. And then I was listening to Switchfoot. Switchfoot is my favorite band. And I came across this song that I'd listened to a couple different times on Hello Hurricane album, and it's called "Do You Love Me Enough to Let Me Go?" And I was like, what is this song even about? Like, I was just listening to the whole CD, and I was just like, what is this song really about? And so when I was looking up the lyrics and different things and trying to figure it out, I found this quote from John Foreman, the main singer, and I'm trying to find it right now because I posted it on Facebook. Hold on one second. I should have had this ready. Actually, I did have it ready, but then suddenly it disappeared. So let me see here. So this is what it says, and I love this quote. So it says, in our barcode media, love is often portrayed as consumption. As consumers in a commercial-driven culture, we can begin to view other souls as objects or potential cures for our deepest fears and insecurities. So we say, perhaps if I found the right person, I would no longer feel this deep existential despair. But of course, no human soul could be that constant other, the face that will never go away. Only the infinite, God, can fill that role. But the silence can be deafening. It's a fearful thing to be alone. So when people say, do you love me enough to let me go? I can't live without you. I would die if you ever left me. John Foreman says, these are not the songs of love. These are the songs of consumption. And I read that, and then I stopped and I was like, I had to go back and I reread it and I reread it. And I realized what he's saying that in America, all we do is consume. And so we watch these billboards and we watch commercials and we see a food and we're like, I need to eat that. I need to buy that. I need to be with that person. I need. And we're constantly wanting to consume more and more and more. Not that those things are bad. Some things are. I mean, if we see drugs and we're like, I need to consume that, that's probably not a good idea. So nobody get that out there. I'm not endorsing that. But here's the thing, not everything is bad. You see a cheeseburger on TV, it's not bad to eat a cheeseburger. But we're so full of consumption that sometimes we mix things up in our lives and we think that if we just had this, whatever that is, food, person, thing, tangible item, if we had that thing, suddenly we'd be happy. And so I stopped and I thought about this, and I love this final line that he says, these are not the songs of love, these are the songs of consumption. And I had to sit back and think. Because this amazing correspondence that I had, don't get me wrong, it was amazing. It was amazing. It is amazing. I still feel completely similar to the ways that I had before. But I think I got caught up in the consumption. And this is just me being honest. Me saying, I had, going back to this quote from John Foreman, I had this deep existential despair, this feeling I need something to fill this, what am I gonna do? And I had someone step in, I had someone there that I felt filled it, and when they left, I was right back to that spot again. And I had to realize, what do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Do I want to just keep going through this over and over? And that doesn't take away at all the way that I felt. It doesn't make it any less. It doesn't mean any less. It doesn't mean like my feelings were fake. It doesn't mean anything like that. But what it means is, it simply means that, I don't even know how to word it. Like it's somewhere deep inside of me. Like this feeling, like this just yearning for something bigger than what we can have. And there's this other great quote from Switchfoot in a song called Gone. And it's just about how everything is just so quick. It can fade away so quickly. It says, life is more than money. Life was never money. Time was never money. Life is more than cash. Life is more than girls. Life is more than $100 bills. Life is more than fame, rock and roll, thrills. And I had to sit back and I had to think about that. Because it's not like I'm sitting here now going like, yes, like I'm single and I'm loving it. This is the best thing ever happened to me. Like, I'm not doing that, like, by any means. But suddenly, I just felt joy. Like, I felt this joy that surpasses anything that could make sense come over me. Actually, my battery's dying, so I need to charge this real quick. Well, the camera's all charged up, and I'm almost done with the video anyways. I just wanted to say I just made this video just to be honest with people, and just to say, hey, here's where I am, here's where I've been. This has been kind of a little bit of my story and what I've been doing. But two things, I mean, first of all, just if anybody's out there and you see yourself in some of this, if you see yourself, you know, going through life and you're saying, man, if I only had this, or if I only was with that person, or, you know, fill in the blank. I just want to encourage you and say, you know, you're not alone. And I know where you're coming from. If you want to ever talk, here's my number. It's 234-759-9042. You can text me, you can call me. That goes for any random people on YouTube as well, that are just watching this and not just my friends. Because honestly, I don't want to just be sitting here telling you about my life and just be detached. I want to enter into a conversation. I want to enter into a life with you guys. Because whether you like it or not, you're now my friends. You've seen my story, you've heard some of my story, and you've connected with me from hearing that. And I want to encourage you by saying, you know what? Don't feel bad about some of the stuff that has happened. Just because if you're coming to that realization, you're realizing, like we talked about with that Switchfoot, like I talked about with that Switchfoot thing, like if you're realizing like that you've had this big vacuum in your life, this big hole, and you've tried to fill it with other things, like don't feel bad about that. I have absolutely no regrets with anything that I have done. And I guarded my heart enough to be able to do that. I would caution everybody out there to guard your heart. Like, don't just rush into something and be like, well, we're just gonna do this, and like just don't rush into things. Guard your heart, but just try to live with no regrets. Just try to live with no regrets. That's one of the best things that I've learned is, you know what, I'm gonna take some chances. I'm gonna take some risks. And I'm gonna live with no regrets, and I've realized that it's just been wonderful since I've tried to do that. And then the second thing that I would just say is if you guys want to join me, like my friend Angela said in her poem, I think she called it a resistance. If you want to call it a revolution, whatever you want to call it, join this resistance, join this revolution of people who are just going to stand up and say, you know what, I'm kind of sick of feeling this way. I'm kind of sick of hiding my insecurities, my fears. I'd love to share my joys, my passions, my excitements with the world. Like, if you're one of those people who's just been sitting back like, man, I really wish I could tell somebody about this. I really wish that I had somebody to talk to. Like, dude, like, call me, text me, you know, put up your own video in response to this one. Put up your own video on your channel. Like, put up something on your Facebook being like, hey guys, I just wanted you to all know that I'm an addict, or, you know, like I've struggled with alcoholism, or whatever it is. Just like put it out there. Like for me, I mean, I've been talking for a while, but my fear is being alone. And I've realized that, like, I don't want to be alone. Like, I love people and I love being with people, and I don't want to be alone. And so, I've tried to fill it in different ways. I try to fill it with getting different things, with buying things. And then ultimately with this person that I met, this amazing person that there's absolutely nothing wrong with her at all. And I want to get that through your guys' heads. Like, it's not that I did something wrong. It's not like, well, this was a big mistake over here. I can't believe this. Like, there was no mistake. There was no regrets for me. But what I'm saying is like, we have to realize that there's something else why we're feeling this way. Like, there's some reason why we're feeling this alone. And it can't be filled by any person, no matter how great they are, no matter how amazing they are, no matter how much they can make you laugh, no matter what kind of thing it is, no matter if it's $1 million check being handed you by Bill Gates. I don't care what it is. It's not going to fill that hole that you're feeling. All those things, they'd be great if they happened, but they're not going to fill that hole that you're feeling. And for me, I've realized what John Foreman said is true, that only God, only the infinite can fill that role. And for me, it's always been like this hard struggle, like, okay, well, I've prayed. Like, I was talking to my friend just a minute ago, one of my best friends, and I was saying, like, I prayed for dreams. Like, I have a really hard thing going on in my life, and I'm like, okay, God, please, I'm going to go to sleep now. Please, will you just at least let me dream about what the answer to this is? Like let me have a dream and let it just happen to be involving this. Like that, because that would be awesome if for just once when I prayed, God would just give me a dream, and then I would just be like be able to be like, okay, I wake up and I'm like, that's it. That's exactly what I need to do. God answered me because I saw it in a dream. Like, wouldn't that be awesome? And I struggle because, like, I feel like a lot of times that I pray and I call out to God and I don't feel Him. I mean, I go to church services and I'm like, oh, I like this song, sing the song. And that's another reason why I love Switchfoot so much, because I can just stand there and I can literally worship God at their concerts. Because to me, that's the easiest way to worship Him, is through these meaningful lyrics. Like Where I Belong, where it says, like, on the final day I die, I want to look you in the eye. I want to tell you that I tried to live it like a song. And so that's kind of been like my thing now. Like, my motto for my life is like, I want to live my life like a beautiful song, like I'm playing this beautiful song with my life. And but I just wish it was so much easier to connect and be like, so that's what I've been thinking. I'm like, okay, I need to fill this with God like 100%. And yes, I still want to find a person, a tangible person to be with me, that I can spend time with and laugh with and have right in front of me. Yes, I still want to go see movies that have just come out. Yes, I still want to do all that stuff. But at the end of the day, I have to realize that that's not going to fill this need that I have. And the ultimate reality is only God's going to fill that. Now, my problem has been, now, what in the world am I going to do about it? Like, how am I supposed to fill it with God? Because I'll read my Bible and, oh, that's an interesting thing. I really like this, but I don't feel like God is literally right there. I can pray and pray and pray, and I'll probably fall asleep. I won't feel like God is right there. Like, literally in the last couple of months, I'm serious, like, besides the Switchfoot concerts, I cannot say that I felt God's real presence. And again, that's just the purpose of this video, is being quite honest and frank with you right now. But then I realized, like, where was Jesus found a lot of the times? And the phrase, the least of these, came into my mind. And the Bible uses this phrase, like, all the time, like saying, like, Jesus was among the least of these. And I realized, like, the least of these in our community, in our world today. And I was thinking, like, the homeless, like, so why don't I just spend a day with the homeless? So one of these days, either tomorrow or Saturday, I'm going out and I just want to find some homeless people and just spend the day with them. And be among the kinds of people that Jesus would have been around. Be around the kind of people that Jesus hung around his whole life. And see if I can't find God amongst those kinds of people. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm filled with such excitement. And again, my soul is singing. And it's just this joy that surpasses understanding that I've found. And so many people that don't have God will be like, this is a little insane. This is a little crazy. Like, You just told us that it's been 6 months that you're separated from your wife, and then this other girl comes around that is like amazing in every way, and now you're not with her, you're not even gonna pursue anything, and how is this good? Like, how are you happy? How is this joyful? I can't explain it to you because you've never felt the kind of joy in Christ that I am trying to explain to you. But it's just, it's real, it's powerful, it's amazing. And so again, all of that to say, I want to invite you guys to join this resistance. Join the resistance against people who are too afraid to say anything. Make your own videos, stand up, do something about it. You know, you can quit anything on a Thursday, and by the time I post this, it's going to be midnight, it's going to be Thursday, July the 4th. And so you can quit the charade, you can quit the fake facade, and what better day than July the 4th, Independence Day, to say, I'm going to be free from all this crap, I'm going to be free from keeping everything to myself. And it's so freeing to sit here in front of you right now, in front of this camera, knowing that I'm going to post this in the next half hour for as many people as want to view it to see, and just put my story out there and be honest with you guys. How freeing is it to be able to do that? It's amazing because I literally love each and every one of you who are watching this video. Like, thank you so much for taking, it's probably been like 30 minutes now you've been watching this crap, and you're still here. And so, like, I love you, and I mean it with all of my heart. Like, I may not even know you, and I love you, because you're willing to listen to my story. And again, if something just connected with you, text me, call me, 234-759-9042. Let's talk. Let's do this. Let's make this place a world where we belong. Just to finish up this video, there's some other great quotes. At the end of that song "Gone" by Switchfoot. When my one friend would say that I'm a little obsessed with Switchfoot, but the quote says, "She said, he said, live like no tomorrow. Every moment that we borrow brings us closer to the God who's not short of cash. Hey Bono, I'm glad you asked. Life is still worth living. Life is still worth living." I dare you guys to move. I dare you to lift yourself up off the ground. I dare you to do something right now. Respond to this video, call me, text me, connect with somebody in your life. Connect with somebody who cares about you and do something, make a difference. Join the resistance, guys. I love all of you.